Hello, I have been tagged by Illy865 to do the top 50 favorite comic books. Favorite is in not top value, I think. So I think it's best. I'm not sure if I can do 50 because it's so easy for me to eat up 50 by just bringing out 50 of my favorite Neil Adams covers. So I will do my best to not be repetitious on my love for Neil Adams. The same thing with my love for the X-Men and John Byrne, because I can easily talk about Giant Size X-Men 1, X-Men 94 through 143, and there you go. That's my favorite 50 run issues of all time, no doubt. There's a few clunker issues in there, but overall, it's a solid 50 issues that I love dearly. So you can see. So it's very difficult for me to pull a list of 50 because there's just so many to choose from. It's like trying to pick your favorite children. So I think it's best that. So I don't know. What I would do is trying to pull out some books and some slabs, some raw, and then see how many I have, and at the same time trying to show some different books that I have never shown before, instead of just recycle the same stuff that you've seen in many of my videos. I done 400 and plus videos, so I have shown a lot of books over the years, and it would be boring, I think, to see the same stuff over and over and over. But so let's see. Okay, so my apology if I cheated and not and didn't do all 50. But here we go with some books that most of you have seen before, but I cannot exclude them because they are the first 10 books are my favorite book in my collection, regardless of their value. A sentimental favorite. Okay, so some could be worthless to many other people, but to me, I put more value on sentimental value than monetary value. For those that watch many of my videos, many of these books would not be a surprise because I have talked about them and shown them in so many videos. But for those that haven't seen them, here we go. Iron Man 150, number one. Why? My first comic books. I bought this book off the rack back in 1981. And it exposed me to American comic books. I read comic book before I buy my first one, but this was the beginning of the long journey of buying comic books. It's the book that set off everything, so I treasure this book very much, and I read it so many times. It's always nearby on my desk because I flip through it quite often just for a nostalgic reason. And this is not in any order. Outside of number one, my most favorite comic books, the rest is not in any order. It just happened to be the order I pulled them out of the boxes. X-Men 155. Why? My first X-Men that I bought off the rack. And it, made me an instant fan for many, many years. Love this book. Love this cover. New Teen Titan. Number 19. George Perez exposed me. Many of my favorite book are books that exposed me to all the wonderful authors that I love for many decades to come. I refer to 81 through 85 as my golden years of collecting, because those 4 years between 81 and 85 was a lot of wow moment, because I discovered so many awesome authors, and this one right here, George Perez. Captain Victory number 4. Yes, my first true exposure to Jack Kirby. I have seen other reprint before from the library, but I never really make the connection until I bought this book, and I became an instant Jack Kirby fan ever since. So this is a book that I bought off the rack. Okay. Thor 337. Why? Walt Simonson. My God. I remember seeing this book off the rack. It was instant fascination and obsession at first sight. Instant. And Ronin #1. I have seen Frank Miller work in the Wolverine Limited series. I was not buying Daredevil at this moment. So I was not, I liked Daredevil as a character, but as far as buying the book, I had not yet buying the book. At the time, it was, I'm not sure why, I think it has more to do with limited funds. You know, I only had so much money to buy books each month, and I had to pick and choose what title. And at the time, the X-Men, New Mutant, Thor, Fantastic Four, and Teen Titan was a 4 or 5 title that ate up my budget. But wow, when I saw Frank Miller art here, which is vastly different from the art in the Wolverine Limited series, instant fan that I become. I couldn't wait to buy his stuff for the next few years, and I start to go back and bought back issues of Daredevil. So right here, okay, a significant book for my collection as far as what Frank Miller have done for me over the years. And then you have, of course, New Mutant 18, my first exposure to Bill Sienkiewicz. You know, I was buying this series off the rack right away, but then it was not a big deal. The series did not excite me all that much until this issue. When I saw this cover, I was just like, oh my God, who did this gorgeous painting? So, lifelong fan of Bill Sienkiewicz right here. And then, of course, you can throw in Dreadstar #1. Never heard of Jim Starlin, never seen his work. And then when I picked up this book, I was just like, wow, what beautiful, just beautiful drawings. I mean, I was impressed at his art right away. It was, you know, didn't take me that long to decide that I will have to spend a few more bucks. Luckily, it was not a monthly title, so my budget was not that stretched at that moment. But right there, make me an instant big fan of Jim Starlin. So now you see the pattern, okay? So the first 10 books or so in my top 50 favorite is things that totally amaze me at the early stage of my collecting, because it exposed me to various different style of arts and storytelling that I'm just so in love with the hobby ever since. And then this book. For whatever reason, Spider-Man did not attract me to collecting the books. Okay, so when I started to buy the book in 81 and then 82, the thought of buying a Spider-Man book did not cross my mind. And then when I saw this black costume, yeah, that's it. That's what got me going. Okay, it's not a surprise that black is my favorite color. One of my favorite. Red too. If it was an all red costume, I think I would go crazy too. To round out the top 10, just a regular Fantastic Four book. Actually a pretty decent issue. Why is this book in my top 50? It's the first book that I bought off the rack that had double covers. I remember the excitement, the thrill that I got when I bought this book and then open the covers and see the double covers. I was just like, what is this mutant? It's a mutant comic books. You know, so I have been a lifelong fan of searching and buying double covers ever since, but this is the only double covers that I bought off the rack, and it made me an instant fan of multiple covers oddity ever since. It's on my top list no matter what. If I had to pick the top 5 favorite superheroes, Daredevil would make the list. Okay, so here's one of my favorite books, the Daredevil book, no doubt. I will put Wolverine, Batman, Silver Surfer. So that's 4. Number 5 is a tough one to squeeze in because there are a lot of people that can easily fit in a top 5, and over time my top 5 have changed over the years. So I'm not gonna name the number 5 because I felt that every other year the 5th spot is switched up somewhere. But if I have to, let's see, for another book, of course, Silver Surfer. How can I not show this book? It's one of my favorite books. Okay, so right there. A gift to myself for my birthday 2 years ago. Time flew on YouTube. And then, of course, can't leave out this book. I will not bring in the other 50 issues of Bronze Age X-Men, but this is it. This one have pretty good sentimental value too because it's my first slab ever. I bought this way back in late 2002, early 2003, more likely early 2003. So yeah, my first slab ever, and I had it ever since, and it's one of the few X-Men slab I have not sold yet. And then for the sake of showing something different, instead of keep showing the same stuff. Yeah. Issue number 5. Issue number 6. Red. Yeah. Okay, so gorgeous. Love me some early Batman, even with Robin on the cover. Whoopsie. And of course, I can't leave out this cover. Yeah. More. Yeah. Issue number 7. Yeah. Of course, I can't exclude out this book. My Tech 31. Can't leave this one out. When it comes to, Frank Frazetta, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of stuff from Frank Frazetta, but I love his cover works on many magazines. Vampirella 1 is mine. Beautiful cover, sexy painting, and he did many wonderful covers for creepy, eerie Vampirella. It's just awesome. Who doesn't like this cover? Is there anyone out there that does not like this? I don't show many Neal Adams book because I'll be rehashing a lot of stuff, but this one is worth rehashing. And it's this book, this awesome treasury. Look at that. Just look at that gorgeous lost drawing. When I saw this cover for the first time, it was an instant obsession to collect treasury. So this set off the chain of event that run for about 2 years, where I had to buy every Marvel and DC treasury. So yes, beautiful. One of the best looking, if not the best looking treasuries out there. This is not a comic book, so once again I cheated a little bit, but I love this book. It's one of the favorite thing in my office that I flip through often. Long before I bought any comic books that have Bernie Wrightson, Kaluta, or Jeffrey Jones, or Barry Windsor Smith. Long before I bought any of those any comic books that have those 4 artists, I got this book, The Studio. And from here, it opened my interest and intrigue into Bernie Wrightson and Barry Windsor Smith, as well as Jeffrey Jones and Kaluta. You know, it's so this book really had a big impact on many of the authors that I love and search out after I bought this book. So yes, it's one of my favorite book in my office for sure. To close out the video, I will show off some of my favorite. Kingpin, love this book. Once again, all red. Love the Kingpin. So here's my mid-grade copy. Because I love the Silver Surfer, I love Galactus. No brainer. Shown this many times before, but can't help myself but check it out again. This one is the backstory to this one is it's one of the very early Fantastic Four that I read before I bought any comic books. And I remember the Cocoon. I thought it was pretty cool, and it sparked my interest in buying Fantastic Four in the early days of my collecting. Long before, you know, I bought any other. I bought this book many years later, but it was this book that introduced me to the Fantastic Four, and for years I hoarded this book just for nostalgic sake. But yes, FF67, him. And big Wolverine fan, how can I not bring this book out? Hulk 181, lovely copy. As huge of a fan of I was, it took me many years to buy this copy, and I'm glad I have a copy. It's raw, and it will stay raw until the day I sell it. If I have to guess, easy 9.4. Easy. Can it be a 9.6? Maybe, but there you go. There's my copy. And before I go, yes, it's not going to be 50 favorite books for me because I have a hard time picking 50, but at least I will show another one that I don't think I have shown this before. I said this for at least 2 years now. If for those that watched my videos 2.5 years ago at the beginning, I have mentioned many times that this character is best for TV. Long before Netflix and Marvel decide to work together, I have mentioned this, that this character is best suited for the small screen instead of the big screen. And I repeated that message when Netflix struck a deal with Daredevil, and I repeat that message again after Daredevil was such a good show that it's a no-brainer that they will bring the Punisher in, and it play out the way I expected. For a while, Punisher was in my top 5. It was my fifth favorite. When Jim Lee was first doing work for Marvel, one of my favorite series at the time was the Punisher series that Jim Lee did. It was great. One of Jim Lee's best, in my opinion. I'm kind of bummed out that I gave away most of those issues. But no doubt, Punisher at time can be in my top 5 favorite characters of all time. So, and for that, I will end the video. My apology for not having 50 books, but at least I brought out many of my favorites and some that was new that I haven't shown before. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.